So here I am again, 2 days in a row. I missed like, I don't know, 18 months. And here I am 2 days in a row. Judy wanted to see the piece of cross stitch that was right there in yesterday's video. I want to get this piece framed. I suspect I've showed it to you before, but I don't know. I'm old now. If I want to show it to you again tomorrow and the day after that and tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow on to eternity, you either will watch and like it or you'll move on. So here's the piece, Judy. This is for you. It's Ladybugs. And I think I would like to put it up right. Wait, I can do this. There. I think I might get that done for myself for Christmas. I was going to tell you about my experience at Michael's in purchasing the paraphernalia that I needed to make the stitch markers for knitting. And I had looked on the Google prior to going to Michael's to see if I could see some how-tos on what I needed to do to use these lobster claws, which just has a little hole on the bottom. So I read a bit about them. It didn't sound too complicated. And at Michael's, they just happened to have a 50% off coupon for all of these little bead thingies. Well, not that one. This is a poor jade elephant that lost his nose. Looks a bit like a bear now, but he's an elephant. And it came from Ceylon, now Sri Lanka. Anyway, I was looking at all of the paraphernalia, and I knew I needed those tiny little, I don't know what they're called, other than the instruction booklet that I found at Michael's that I wasn't going to buy. I was just going to use to research, called These Findings. And it's the tiniest, I can't even hold it to show it to you. It looks unto itself. It's a bead. You'll have to be very quick. There, that tiny little thing, this wire stuff fits into there, and then you smash it, or you squish it with needle nose pliers, which holds the beads on. And so there was a package of a mixture of stuff. It had circles, and it had circles like, that doesn't make any sense when I just say that, does it? Had these things, rings, I guess. And it had the lobster claws and these finding bead things that you squish. So I had the booklet, and while I was reading the booklet that cost $22 at Michael's on how to make jewelry, which I didn't want to do, I just wanted to make these stitch markers, a woman came along and she picked something up and she said, "Would you please tell me how to do this?" And I said, "I don't work here. I don't have a red smock on. I'm looking myself. Do you do this stuff?" And she says, "Well, no, I'm learning." And so I said, "Well, so am I. That's why I've got the booklet." She says, "But that's a magazine." And I said, "Yes, it's showing me how to do it." And she looked at me as though I was a whack job and moved along. But, you know, so this is what I have left. of all of the findings and the beads that I didn't use yet. So all of this, plus what I showed you and I made, cost me $40. And at the yarn shop, they want $12 of homemade stitch marker thingies for 6. So I've made 6, 12, 15. I've probably made 22. And I have enough to make probably 22 more. So I thought that that wasn't a bad deal. But it was more expensive than I expected it to be. Beads are expensive. And this stuff was $12. And look, it's only 20 feet. But I had a 50% coupon, so that's not so bad. So that's the story of the findings and the beads and Michael's in more detail than I went into yesterday. And I'm going to go now, I think. My granddaughter stopped by today, just briefly, to borrow her papa's camera. She's the one, actually, that caused the name of my YouTube channel, because she used to call me Papa Rock, confusing our 2 names. Patrick's, who she calls Papa, and me, who she calls Rock. Okay, it's enough. That's it, that's all.